I want to propose a firmware update for this LG C1. So LG, listen, I'm not an expert, but if I am correct, this should be possible and it would greatly benefit 60 FPS gaming for everybody. Most games run at 60 FPS, especially on the consoles. So what happens on this LG C1 is that at 60 Hz, 60 frames per second, the only black from insertion option that works is high. And I'm going to explain you why medium and low don't work, and they should, and it is fixable. I'm going to explain you why I believe they do not work. So this LG C1 as a sample on hold display looks like this if we analyze it with an oscilloscope, okay? So as a sample on hold display, it does this. It gives you picture, and then it drops, and then it gives you picture again, and then it drops, okay? So let's say we have 16 milliseconds here. So we have 16.6 milliseconds here, okay? So this is 60 FPS. That's the frame time of 60 FPS. So what happens, what should happen when we use OLED Motion Pro Medium is this. So instead of this, it should drop in the middle and stay black, okay? So by doing this, by showing you the picture half of the time, so this would be 8.3 milliseconds, 8.3 milliseconds. So by showing you the picture half of the time, this would improve the motion clarity because it lowers the persistence, it lowers the pixel visibility time. So this would be 50%, you can see the picture, and 50% it would be black, okay? That's the idea with black from insertion. So this would be OLED Motion Pro Medium, but this is not what is happening. So it doesn't work. So with OLED Motion Pro Medium, this is what is happening instead. Let me divide this here so we can see it better. So what is happening is that instead of doing that, what is happening is that it is doing PWM at 240 Hertz, and this is what's happening. So it is basically doing about 4 milliseconds here. So it is showing you the picture about 4 milliseconds and again 4 milliseconds. So that's why in terms of the brightness loss, we see the same brightness loss, but it is not improving the motion clarity because it's showing you the same frame 2 times by 4 milliseconds because it is doing 240 Hertz PWM, okay? PWM 240 Hertz, and we need 120 instead. So we do not want this behavior. We do not want to see the same frame 2 times 4 milliseconds. We need this. We need 8.3 milliseconds to see the frame and the rest is black. That's it. That's why OLED Motion Pro Medium doesn't work at 60 Hertz. So high does work. And what high is doing is instead of this 50%, it is doing it for a shorter period of time, which is better because it gives you a better motion clarity. So based on my testing, high is 38% and the rest is black, okay? So it does work with high, but the problem is for some people, it flickers too much, and I can see the flicker, okay? I still use it, but the flickering, it is bothersome sometimes. But instead of 38%, if they do 50%, the flickering is going to be greatly reduced. And this is actually what the LG C2 and G2 are doing. Why? Because the C2 and G2, they do not support 240 Hertz PWM. They are doing 120. So this is what the C2 is doing because it cannot do something else. This is what they are doing. It's exactly what they're doing. And it might not even support PWM at all. I don't know if this can be called PWM if they just insert a black frame and they do 120, do one black frame and 60 real frames, basically. So It would be a simple solution. Do not do this. This works at 120. This is great for 120 because you have one frame here and you have a different frame here. Okay? So it works. But it doesn't work at 60. Okay? That's it. That would be the solution. So change at 60 hertz. Do not do 240 hertz PWM. Do 120, the way high works. So in that way, we can have, with high, we can have 38%. With medium, we can have a little bit longer. So we can have a bigger persistence, 50% with medium. And with low, with OLED Motion Pro low, we would have 75% persistence. So basically, we are trading brightness. So it will be brighter, the bigger the persistence, the brightness will be higher, and you get less flickering and you get less motion clarity. So people can decide which option is the best. Those three options should be usable at 60, and they are not. And the reason they are not is because it is doing 240 hertz PWM. This doesn't help. This doesn't work at 60. You are repeating the same frame 2 times. So it looks like out of sync. It's like, imagine you have your TV at 120 hertz and then you play the game and the game is running at 60 FPS. So you get, for each frame, you get 2 refreshes. That doesn't help, and it looks like having double image. That's exactly the way when we turn on Motion Pro Medium, that's exactly the way it looks. It looks double. And it's because of this. It is repeating the same frame 2 times with a lower persistence, and that doesn't help. So the only thing that this is useful for is to reduce flickering. Okay? So you get the same brightness loss, but you get less flickering. But aside from that, it doesn't help to do that. So don't do it. That's it. I truly believe I am correct on this one because that's what I see on my testing. It looks like a double image. And the reason is, it is not doing what it's supposed to do, which is just give me the frame, then black, and then go to the next frame. Do not repeat the same frame 2 times. Okay? So if you know better, if you are the Blurbusters chief, let me know if I got it right. And if you are an LG engineer, let me know if this is possible. And if it is, do it please, because this would be huge for everybody. This would help 60 FPS gaming, and that's the most common thing. For all the consoles and even on PC, it would greatly benefit everybody. So yeah, and also it shouldn't be a purchasing decision to get the C2 or G2 because it has less flickering with OLED Motion Pro at 60 Hz, because they do not support 120 Hz black film insertion. So the C1 would be better if you're interested in that, in black film insertion. The C1 should have that option too. So if you want less flickering and less motion clarity, you have it. You should be able to have it. It shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you know better, explain me if this is wrong. I truly believe it is right because it is what I see. I see it with my testing. And after understanding this a little bit better, I strongly believe that this is correct. And if I am correct, this is an easy fix. Easy. Why? Because they are already doing 120 Hz PWM with OLED Motion Pro High, and that's why it works. So with high, when you go to 120, then it does 240 Hz PWM. So high is able to change. Why medium and low don't change? They are only for 120 Hz. Why? So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.